The Wooting 60HE V2 is a chance for Wooting to reclaim the crown of the best gaming keyboard manufacturer. A new case, switch plate, dampening foams, mounting system and more. But is it enough to bring Wooting back to the top spot and a place back on my desk? The opinion of Wooting keyboards has drastically changed over the past year. To summarise it in YouTube comments, they've gone from Wooting clears good video smiley face to they're terrible, overpriced garbage, the piss fart 60HE is better, Wooting killed my dog. Is the 60HE V2 enough to win people over from their $40 AliExpress clones? Let's find out. Mine didn't come pre-built, so I had to put it together myself, which is a good thing as it allows me to go through all the improvements made to the 60HE V2. The unboxing experience was really good. The packaging was excellent, and from what I could tell, it appears to be entirely biodegradable. Nice. There's even a stupid little connect the dots game for children on one of the boxes, as if Wooting thinks I'm some idiot that would be entertained by such trivial puzzles. The aluminum case on this is rather detailed. It certainly has a more premium look and feel when compared to some of the others that I've tried. There's just a bit more polish and refinement to it. You still get a Wooting strap, as well as the functionality to have it on the other side of the keyboard if you desire, as well as other styled hooks if you want a different aesthetic, which is a nice touch. Last time I made the mistake of putting the strap on incorrectly in my video, which wasn't a good look for me, nor is it good in bed. Thankfully. Next up is the PCB and top plate. This already has the painter's tape mod on the back, so you won't need to do that yourself. And this also has the friction fit silicone sandwich pad inside. They also provide a standard pour-on pad if you wish to tray mount the keyboard instead, as well as the required screws to do so. This is also using an FR4 plate on the top instead of the steel switch plate the previous 60HE had. Now it's time for the redemption arc, hopefully, for Wooting switches. Their previous ones have always been below an acceptable standard in my opinion. The 60HEs were rather poor, although it was in the early days of Hall Effect, and the 80HEs were also underwhelming. Now we have the Lecker Ticken switches. For a brief summary, these have less wobble, a fully closed bottom housing which results in a deeper sound profile. It also has a longer spring, so it will require slightly more force at the start of the press, therefore reducing accidental key presses, but requires less force to bottom out the switch. I was going to do some fancy editing tricks to put the switches and keycaps on the keyboard, but I can't be bothered, so you get what looks like an ostrich or any other large bird pecking at a keyboard. Before I get to the sound tests, I also got a silicone wrist rest with this. I don't know if this is provided as standard, but it just fixed onto the bottom lip of the keyboard and is a nice addition. Now it's built, I'm honestly impressed with the build quality and look of this keyboard. It's clean, simple and high quality so far, but now it's time for the sound test. I will provide more sound tests at the end of this video with different switches for comparison. This is completely stock with the silicone pad on the bottom. I find this still has a hint of that Wooting chatter. It mainly affects the topping out sound of the switches, and it's more common in the central parts of the keyboard. It happens with other switches as well, so this isn't an issue that is related to the Ticken switch. If you know what could be causing this issue, let me know in the comments please. It really annoys me. Before we all get our knickers in a twist, it might be worth checking out other reviews to see if they experience the same issue. If not, then it's likely just me. One benefit of the friction fit that they're using is that it's easy to try out different foams, which didn't rectify my issue, but made trying to find a solution rather easy. So for the sound it's rather disappointing, but I don't know if other people's keyboards have this. As I said, it might just be me. I think that if this keyboard didn't have this reverbing chatter, it would be great, because typing on this, ignoring the sound, feels very smooth, and I think this issue I'm experiencing is stopping me from appreciating what could be a really nice Hall Effect right switch. Going back to the friction fit, this is great. Typing with this keyboard isn't as stiff as a standard tray mounted keyboard. There's a bit of flex, but not as much as a gasket mount, but for such a simple mounting system, I think it's really good. Now the physical components of the keyboard are what I think of when I mention Wooting. It's the software, and obviously this hasn't changed. It's still fantastic and easy to use as it's always been. After all this time, this software is still very far ahead of the competition. Whenever I go back to utility, it really highlights the importance of easy to use software. With some other keyboards, I normally can't be bothered to wrestle with what they have, so I don't tweak the settings to my exact preferences. But with utility, I actually want to because it's so easy, and it's so much faster than loading a browser, clicking on the bookmark, allowing access to the device, and so on. If you are more of an in-depth power user of Hall effect keyboards and their features, there is nothing better than this. Before I get to the price, the split spacebar. Honestly, it's too soon for me to have an opinion on this. I have nothing negative to say about it, nor positive. When I first booted Utility, it popped up with a suggested configuration of using the middle button as an extra FN key and using WASD as arrow keys when it's held down, which is the only feature I've tried so far, and it works. I've just not used it enough. Also, don't forget to sign up to our mailing list where I'll send you pictures of my cat and talk about products that I didn't get time to review. Now the price of this keyboard, if you want an aluminium case, will cost around $240 at the time of recording this video. There is a plastic version coming out around April next year that will be around $60 cheaper. So, should you buy it? If you value longevity, customer support, long-term warranties, easy-to-use software, and are happy to support an independent company, and understand that you may not be getting the best sounding keyboard, or have to mod the keyboard to achieve a better typing experience, then I'd recommend getting this keyboard. If any of those things doesn't sound appealing to you, then simply don't buy it. Outside of the topping out noise, which I hope is an isolated case and is just affecting me, this is a high quality keyboard. The aluminium case has been executed really well, and overall it feels and looks more premium than some of the cheaper aluminum ones that I've tried. The new lacquer ticking switches are a significant improvement over previous versions and are equal to some of the competition out there. And obviously, utility is still S tier and the after sale support is unrivaled. Yes, there are cheaper options available out there, but some of these companies often have very close ties to the manufacturers of these products or own the factories themselves, which will obviously mean there's a lot less cost involved to produce their products, which makes them cheaper. And it's not like you're just paying more to Wooting and getting nothing in return, because you are getting a lot of consumer friendly stuff that a lot of these cheaper clones just cannot get anywhere close to, and you're also paying for tens. This is one of the best keyboards you can buy right now. It's not perfect, but I don't think there is a perfect Hall effect keyboard out there at the moment. Personally, I may not use this as my main unless I really get into modding, because much like my parents, I prefer things that are split.